Hello, good morning class. Hello, good morning, good morning. स्ट्रेंथ आज भी कम है। हम्म। आज तो ज्यादा लोगों को होना चाहिए। क्यों? पीपीटी विजुअल है सभी लोगों को? ओके, थैंक यू। थैंक यू फॉर द विशेष warm wishes on Teachers' Day to all of you. I pray to God you got every success of your life as you want. God bless you to all. Now I'm going to start the in previous lecture I have started second unit. Okay, and I have told you the second unit comprises of measurement of different components of electrical parameters like resistances, inductances and capacitances and other circuit parameters derived from component values such as frequency, phase angle and temperature. So there are many methods available up to 8 to measure the resistances, inductances, capacitances and other derived parameters. So to measure the resistances, basically resistances are classified in three categories. First is low resistance measurement. The range of low resistance measurement is up to 1 ohm. Next is medium resistance measurement. Medium resistance measurement have the range from 1 ohm to 100 ohm. But if the value of resistance is more than 100 ohm, that resistance will come under the category of high resistance measurement. So there are 3 or 4 methods in every type of resistance measurement. If you are going to measure low resistance, in previous lecture I have also given the some examples that which particular machine or which particular device come under the category of low resistance. The windings of transformer, machines, generators, motors having the resistance less than 1 ohm or equal to 1 ohm. It means if you are going to measure the winding resistance of the machines, electrical machines like transformer, generator or motor, then you will apply these methods. There are three methods to measure low resistance values of the circuits. First method is ammeter voltmeter method. Next is Kelvin double bridge method and potentiometer method. Next is medium resistance measurement. The values of ICs, I think ICs, and if you will say of the electrical parameters, means the resistances of wires, you can say the resistances of wires are come under the category of medium resistance range. So there are three methods to measure medium resistance. First is ammeter voltmeter method, next is substitution method, and last is Wheatstone bridge method. The third category of resistance is high resistance measurement. So there are four methods to measure high values of resistance. So for examples, high value resistance comprises of the insulation medium. The insulation medium of the core of the transformer, core of the motors or generators, and insulation of the cable. I think you all are familiar with cable, and I hope you have seen cable near to your home, near to your college, or you can say anywhere. I hope you have seen cables. Can anyone tell me what is the difference between wire and cable? Hello, are you listening? Hello, is my voice audible? Can anyone tell me what is the difference between cable and wire? I hope you have seen both wire and cables. Can you give me any comparison? Okay, good. Any other answer? Good. Any other? Khushbu, are you listening, Uta? Do you have any idea about the wire and cable? Have you seen these two, things in your daily life, wire and cable? Okay. Okay, no problem. Any other students who want reply about the cable and wire? I am just asking to know your, how much do you know about these two electrical components? Understood? That's why I am asking you all that how much do you know about wire and cable? Basically, first answer was that with the help of cable we can transfer electrical energy as well as data. So I'm not if you are an electrical engineer and you are going to talk about the cable, then you will, I think you will not say that cable transfer the data, because that cable is different. and we are talking about another cable which used for the electrical power transfer. And the second student had given a good reply that wire contain only one conductor but cable contains more than one conductor. Cables are also classified and on the basis of conductor. In case of cable, we say core. In place of conductor, we use the word core to show wire, or you can say cable. When you return back to the college, when this situation will become normal, behind your college there is a small substation of the college, and you can go and see the cable and wire. In a substation, these both quantities are available. Okay, so this was a good answer, that cable contains more than one conductor and wire contain only one conductor. Okay, that's why if any you are going to transfer the electrical power, and we know very well that electrical power have the voltage, minimum voltage 220 volt AC. But you are going, if you are going to transfer the electrical power, then most of cases we refer 400 volt or more than 400 volt to transfer the electrical power through the cable. Are you getting my point? Okay, thank you. So cable contains more than one conductor, and I want to show you.
सर केबल में लेयर दो साइड होती है.
Of course, of course. This is cable. Okay, this diagram is of cable, and this is wire. Okay, this is wire. So from here you can understood very well that what is the difference between this is a wire and all the group of all these wires is cable. This is the a figure of cables of Havells company. Generally we prefer these type of cable to transfer the electrical power. These cables are only to transfer the data, not the electrical power. But you can say that, sir, when we connect our mobile cable to our laptop or to any USB drive, our mobile get charged. It's okay, but that voltage is very less, 5 volt. The output voltage in mobile cable is 5 volt, not more than 5 volt. So this is the symbolic representation of cable, and this is wire. I hope you have seen in your home. Okay, the material which we use for the, you know, for the fan connection, for the bulb connection, or for any electrical gadgets connection, that are wires, and this is cable which is used to transfer the electrical power. Generally all these conductors are bounded in a single material, this material having a high insulation between these conductors. To measure that insulation we follow these rules. Means you can say the high resistance exists inside the cables, inside the core of the transformer, inside the machines, you can say motor or generator. So there are four methods generally we apply to measure high resistance: is direct deflection method, loss of charge method, mega ohm bridge, and Megger. Mostly applicable method is Megger test, which is generally prefer to measure high resistance value of the insulating material. I hope everyone has got about the low resistance, medium resistance, and high resistance, and the methods who use to measure resistances. Now we are going to know the methods for the measurement of inductances, capacitances, and frequency. So inductances exist in the circuit of two types. First is self-inductance and mutual inductance. To measure self-inductance, there are 4 to 5 methods. We will discuss every method in detail, but currently we are just trying to know the name of methods, which methods used to measure which quantity. So Maxwell's bridge to measure self-inductance of the circuit is Maxwell's bridge. Maxwell's bridge comprises two methods. First is Maxwell inductance bridge and second is Maxwell inductance capacitance bridge. Third is Hayes bridge, Anderson bridge, and Owens bridge. So using the principle of the concept of bridges, we measure self-inductance. Now Carey-Foster method or Carey-Foster-Hay-Dewiller bridge method is used to measure mutual inductance. De Sauty bridge and Shearing bridge used to measure capacitance in the circuit, and Wien's bridge is generally preferred to measure frequency of the system. Means if you are going to purchase a measuring device which is measuring, which is measuring resistances, capacitances, inductances, and frequency, means that instrument is working on the principle of these methods. Understood? Okay, so I have told you in earlier class that try to remember these methods, name of these methods, because after some days you will get confused that which method was applying for which type of measurement. Maybe after a lot of confusion, if in exams questions have asked about measurement of capacitance and you are writing method and answer bridge, Hayes bridge or Owens bridge. That's why I am suggesting you all कि first of all try to remember these name of methods, then after you will apply these methods in a very correct way. Now ammeter, we are going to start about ammeter voltmeter method. You have seen from here that the method ammeter voltmeter is applying for low resistance as well as for medium resistance. So there is a big difference between these methods. Why? If you are connecting voltage across the load, this condition figure 2, then that connection is applied to measure high values. If you are going to measure, if you are connecting ammeter behind the load, then this method, this type of connection is used to measure low resistance. That's why here these two methods prefer to measure low resistance as well as medium resistance. Resistance can be measured using ammeter and voltmeter and applying Ohm's law. When voltmeter is connected across supply, then resistance R is equal to E plus EV upon I. This is R and E is the voltage of supply and the value of voltage across this resistance is VR. The value of ammeter resistance is RA, internal resistance. The value of internal resistance of voltmeter is RV, and the voltage drop across that ammeter is VA. That's why here the value of resistance is calculated in these terms, E plus EV by I. E is what? E is supply voltage and EV is the voltage drop across that instrument. Means ammeter, the EV is the voltage across the ammeter. In both cases, measured value of unknown resistance is equal to the reading of voltmeter divided by reading of ammeter. So from figure figure 1, R is equal to Rm upon Rm into 1 minus Ra upon Rm. Ideally, R is equal to Rm only when Ra is 0. So from figure 2, R is equal to Rm upon 1 minus Rm upon Rv. Ideally, R equal to Rm when resistance of voltmeter is infinite. Next is substitution method. So generally we substitute a value of resistance in place of another value. Then what is the concept behind this here? Accuracy depends on the EMF of the battery and also depends on the resistance of circuit other than RS. What is the principle of this method? Accuracy depends on the EMF of battery and also depends on the resistance of circuit other than RS. Substitution method is more accurate than ammeter voltmeter method. Now this is the Wheatstone bridge. This is Wheatstone bridge. A, B, C, D. There are 4 arms of this bridge having the value AB arm having the resistance R1, BC arm having the resistance R2, CD arm having the resistance R3, and this is a standard resistance. And R4 is the unknown resistance. We are going to measure this resistance. AD having the resistance R4. EE is the voltage source which terminals are connected on the point A and C. And a galvanometer is connected on the point B and D. Then what is concept of Wheatstone bridge? R1 and R2 are called the ratio arms. Okay, because these arms is standard resistance arms, these arms is unknown resistance arms. Then what about R1 and R2? R1 and R2 are called the ratio arms. R3 is called the standard arm containing the standard known resistance. R4 is the unknown resistance to be measured. R4 is the unknown resistance to be measured. Battery connected between A and C. Galvanometer attached between B and D. Now the concept behind this bridge is the ratio of R1 by R3 will be equal to R2 by R4 if this bridge is balanced. How you will know that this bridge is balanced or not? If the ratio of these values are equal, it means bridge is balanced. Then what happen in balance condition? Galvanometer will show the zero deflection in its pointer. Now we are going to find the conditions of balancing condition. We are going to find out the condition when Wheatstone bridge will be in balance condition. Now, then what? When the bridge is balanced, the galvanometer carries zero current and it does not show any deflection. When the bridge is balanced, the galvanometer carries zero current and it doesn't show any deflection. Thus, bridge works on the principle of null deflection, or you can say null indication. To have zero current through galvanometer, the point B and D must be at the same potential. If there is no current inside this galvanometer, it means what is the condition? Means the potential at B and D are same. Because as per the previous concept, we know very well that current will flow in circuit when there will be some potential difference between the nodes of that circuit. If these two nodes are at equipotential, there will be no current in that circuit. You can say just from example that water flow from top to down, or by using some mechanical force you can flow it from down to top. But if the level is at same point, then there will be no flow of water. The same condition happen in electrical circuit also. If the two nodes of a circuit are at same potential, or you can say at same voltage, then there will be no current in that circuit or between that two nodes. Okay, so here we are going to find the condition of balance. Then we are applying that bridge is at balance condition, and in that situation the potential of B and D are same. That's why there will be no deflection, or you can say there will be no current in galvanometer. Okay, to have zero current through galvanometer, the points B and D must be at the same potentials. Thus, potential across arm AB must be same as the potential across arm AD. Thus, AB and AD are same. So, potential of AB will be what? I1 R1, and potential of AD will be what? I2 R4. Here only that condition is written. Thus, I1 R1 is equal to I2 R4. As galvanometer current is 0, then what will be? I1 will be equal to I3 and I2 will be equal to I4. Because the same current will flow in that arm also, no? There is no current in galvanometer. It means I1 is also going in branch BC. Same value of current will also flow as similar to I1 in BC. So as galvanometer current is 0, I1 is equal to I3 and I2 is equal to I4. Considering the battery path under balance condition, then if you will apply to find current I1, then what will be? A simple circuit. Yeah, we will apply a loop from E, positive terminal of E, then the path will be like this: positive terminal at A, at B, at C, and then at negative terminal. If you are going to find this current, then what will be the value? E upon R1 plus R3. So here the same value is written. Considering the battery path under balance condition, then what is the value of I1 or I3 is E by R1 plus R2. In the similar way, I2 or I4 is equal to E by R3 plus R4. So using equation 3 and 4, okay, using equation 3 and 4 in equation number 1. Equation number is 1 is what? I1 R1 is equal to I2 R4. Now we will replace the value of current in terms of voltage and resistances. Then after we will get the condition of ratio of resistance ratio or cross arm resistance ratio. The I1 R1 is equal to I2 R4. I1 is replaced, then what was the value of I1? E upon R1 plus R2 into R1, and equal to what was the value of I2? E upon R3 plus R4 into R4. E is same in both sides, RHS and LHS, so E will get cancelled. Now R1 into R3 plus R4 equal to R4 into R1 plus R2. If we remove this bracket, then we will get the value r1 r3 plus r1 r4 is equal to r1 r4 plus r2 r4. After solving this equation, we will come on the conclusion that r4 is equal to r3 into r1 upon r2. You can say that ratio of r1 upon r2 is equal to r4 upon r3. Means the ratio of this resistance in balance condition will be equal to the ratio of this resistance. Okay, understood? Then you got a condition under the balance is r4 is equal to r3 into r1 upon r2. This is required balance condition of Wheatstone bridge. Okay, is anyone have any doubt? Is anyone have any doubt? Are you listening? Are you getting what am I want to say? Okay. This was the condition of Wheatstone bridge. Now there are three types of sensitivity belongs to Wheatstone bridge. One is current sensitivity, second is voltage sensitivity, and third is bridge sensitivity. Then what is current sensitivity? Current sensitivity equal to deflection upon current I. What is voltage sensitivity? Deflection upon voltage. And what is bridge sensitivity? Deflection. Theta is what? Deflection. Deflection upon change in resistance. So now the Wheatstone concept I have taught to you the concept of Wheatstone bridge. If anyone have any doubt, he can ask. Otherwise, your today lecture is over. I will teach this concept from the book in next class. Okay, I think no one have any doubt. No problem. When you study that this topic, if you face any problem, then you can ask to me. Okay, thank you class. Now your class is over.